After you best the Templar, it's time to knock down the Gatekeeper and take on Atheon. You just need to make it through the maze of almost unkillable Gorgon sentries. So that shouldn't be too bad, right? Getting through the Gorgon Maze is exactly the same as it was in Destiny 1, and therefore you can take whichever path you remember taking. A personal favorite is the On the Rocks route, where you simply dodge the maze part altogether and jump over the Gorgons on these rocks. There is also the non-stop running route that takes you off to the right side of the maze and all the way around, so that you don't need to stop running. But I didn't record that one, so tough luck. The Gatekeeper encounter is spiritually the same as the Destiny 1 version, but now with an actual relic transfer mechanic. Team composition yet again does not matter too much, but burst supers are encouraged due to overload minotaurs and wyverns that will spawn during the encounter. There is no boss fight here, so you do not need a Well of Radiance, although feel free to use it if you're comfortable with it. Stasis will also work some wonders if you're entering a portal, especially if you happen to fall behind on killing enemies. As for weapons, anything that worked well during Templar will work well here too. My favorites are the Huckleberry and Trinity Ghoul, considering that goblins spawn about 5 at a time, very often, with a couple of mages thrown in there as well. Huckleberry will wipe them all out, same with Ghoul. You could also go for Warmind cells, which will destroy everything in a portal room, and I do mean that literally. Just don't forget about overload rounds. The fight will start with you destroying all of the Vex in the room, including the Gatekeeper, who will drop the Relic Shield once killed. Your team should also start opening the portals to the left and right sides immediately by standing in the plates with these short, squared pillars coming out from the center. You can stand on this pillar and still open the portals. When the portals are open, send one player into each one. There is a conflux in the middle of the arena, and I assume you can figure out where this is going. Stop the Vex from sacrificing. You will have 2 waves of goblins spawn in, followed by either a shielded minotaur or a wyvern. If you get the wyvern, feel free to kill it immediately. If you get a minotaur, you need to call to the relic holder, who will go into the portal that you are in to bash the shield off of the minotaur, who will be killed afterwards. Then, the spawns will switch. The side that got the wyvern will eventually get the minotaur after a couple of goblin waves, and the minotaur will get the wyvern, meaning the shield needs to rotate to the other portal. The only problem is that if you are holding the relic when you enter or exit a portal, you get a 45-second debuff that prevents you from using the teleporter, meaning you need to drop the relic to the person who was already in there and have them take it out. When they take it out, they too will be affected by this debuff, needing to give it to someone else on the outside to take into the other portal for the Minotaur. Then when that person goes in the portal, they will be stuck in there for 45 seconds, needing to give the shield to the person who was already in there. You'll need to repeat this process for the entire fight until enemies stop spawning. When they do, everyone can leave their portals, go to the middle of the throne room, and kill enemies as a big group. There will be some Minotaurs with shields spawning in, one at the top of the stairs, one to the right, and one to the left. Be sure to bonk those shields off. And then it's loot time. Meanwhile, the people defending the plates to the portal doors need to have overload rounds ready, as 2 overload Minotaurs, 1 per side, will spawn from the close doorway quite frequently during the fight. Otherwise, you'll have 3 goblins, one of them being a major, spawning in every so often. Note that periodically, a new Gatekeeper will spawn on the middle floating platform, disabling the portals completely. This Gatekeeper needs to be killed quickly so that the portals reactivate. Let's break down that whole shield transfer thing real quick with some assigned numbers. Players 1 and 2 go into the left and right side portals respectively, and player 3 picks up the relic. Players 4, 5, and 6 are just guarding and opening the portals. Player 1 in the left portal gets the Minotaur, and 2 gets the Wyvern. 2 just kills the Wyvern and stays in the portal. Player 1 says to player 3, "Hey, come in here, I have the Minotaur." Player 3 goes in, removes the Minotaur shield, and immediately after, drops the relic for player 1. This relic transfer should happen very quickly if possible. Player 3 stays in the portal, player 1 leaves and gives the relic to player 4, who takes it into the right side portal to remove the Minotaur shield for player 2. The Minotaur dies, player 4 drops the relic for player 2, player 2 leaves, and the cycle starts over again. Player 2 should be able to give the relic to player 1. The debuff timing might be pretty close there. Otherwise, you could just give it to player 5 or 6. It seems very hectic when explained, but in practice, it's not really that frantic. Unless you're trying to explain it on the fly. Okay, so the person with the relic is going to drop the relic because you can't teleport. So drop the relic, and then whoever has it, go to the opposite side portal, except you need to leave the portal because now you're going to be blocked from teleporting. So someone else needs to pick it up and then come into my room in Venus, which is on the right side, and then bonk the Praetorian before he gets to the thing in about 10 seconds.
Oh. Okay.
What?
After beating this encounter, it's time for Atheon, the final boss. Team composition here should yet again prioritize burst supers with one well to make things a little bit safer. You're going to want to take advantage of the free supers given to you in the fight. Yes, even Thunder Crash. Just make sure you throw on a melee resistance mod. Weapon-wise, I've seen a lot of people have success with Anarchy and the Deepstone Crypt Sniper Succession, but believe it or not, if you happen to have a well-rolled threaded needle linear fusion rifle, something with auto-loading at the least, Ariana's Vow and Threaded Needle was doing some work on the contest mode version. If you end up going with precision weapons, a Divinity will be really helpful here to have a larger crit zone, especially if you're using Anarchy, as Atheon will be dancing around the room combined with tons of flinch coming from Harpies. However, there are all sorts of different ranges that you'll need to be shooting at. Up close for Supplicants, super far away for Aerial Harpies, kind of far for Oracles. So a Pulse Rifle might not be the worst choice if you're trying to save your sniper ammo for the boss. Mod-wise, it'll be smart to have a couple of people with Special Ammo Finisher farming Harpies during the in-between phases, so that way everyone is stocked up on ammo. When the fight starts, Atheon will be shooting at you along with many Harpies spawning in both on the ground and in the air. Try to leave a couple of aerial Harpies, as killing all of them will just spawn another wave. Eventually, Atheon will teleport 3 people into one of the 2 portals, which should be called out immediately so that the Throne team can start the process of opening the correct portal. The portal team will have a relic and some enemies waiting for them. Pick up the relic, kill the enemies, and then make your way to the center of the room. If you've beaten Riven legitimately, this part might seem familiar. Oracles will spawn in the throne room in a circular pattern. There are 6 potential spots for them to spawn. The throne room must take note of this oracle order and tell the people in the portal the order in which they spawned. As for the oracle location callouts, we did the giant stairs as 1, the DPS platform aka Gatekeeper as 4, and then filled in the rest going clockwise, so it should look like this. You could also do 1, 2, 3 across the top and 4, 5, 6 across the bottom. But inside of the portal room, the oracle spawns are flipped around. When you first get teleported into the portal room, the oracle that would spawn dead ahead of you is technically number 4, according to the throne room, but has the position of oracle 1 in the throne room. Therefore, to counteract this positional conundrum, the portal team should simply turn around 180 degrees. Then you'll have the right orientation to kill oracles as they are read from the throne team. This is also why I suggest going to the middle as quickly as possible. You will get the best views of the oracles from here. Not killing the oracles fast enough or killing them in the wrong order is an instant wipe. In between oracle waves, you'll have goblins and 1 shielded minotaur spawn in on both of these smaller staircases. The relic should have no problem clearing these with a couple of ground slams. One more thing. Portal teams might notice things start to get a little dark after a short time. The relic needs to cleanse this away by using the guard function to create a cleansing barrier. This will keep happening over and over until you leave the portal, so stay close and keep cleansing. On the final wave of oracles, you should be right next to the portal, ready to leave. Let's take a look at how the portal team will be doing their jobs. All right, here we go, teleports. I'm in.
It's me.
Left.
All right, we're on left, Mars.
Ooh,
Wait, let me
outside.
take the relic so you can shoot the things.
Oh,
I can shoot them.
4,
Okay, here.
5, 1. 4, 5, 1.
Dom, what do we do out here? This is my first time. Oh my god!
Don't die.
There's so many
Four.
supplicants!
Why did I
5.
drop it?
1. I don't know.
Did you switch weapon?
No?
Well, no woo.
Does it run out?
Yes.
145.
Oh.
145.
I may die.
Danielle, please bonk.
4, 5. Wait.
Yeah.
1,
145.
4,
Ah,
5. There we go.
I have trouble short-term memory. I just want everyone to know that.
Danielle, I'll hold the relic for when we go into the.
Dom couldn't hear you.
364. 364.
364.
Can I get some assistance with these effing subs, please?
You look like you're doing well.
3, 6, 4. All right, let's go. Meanwhile, the Throne team will be doing their callouts for the Portal team while also fighting off big waves of supplicants. Ideally, the Throne team should all rotate to the side that needs the portal to be opened, because supplicants on the opposite side will generally not move away from their side unless prompted or taunted. You'll also have aerial harpies to deal with if you keep killing them. This is a much more active role than Destiny 1 was, both in terms of callouts and killing, so just be ready to kill a lot of enemies. After the third Oracle wave has been read out, the Throne team should start to migrate to the middle floating platform for damage and finish off any extra harpies that they can kill. If you don't want to do damage from here, or if the meta strategy changes, then prepare however you'd like. The moment you receive Time's Vengeance, which is a buff that gives you a lot of super energy, is when Atheon is vulnerable. Be sure to take advantage of the full 30 seconds if you're on the Throne team. Drop a well as soon as Atheon activates so that you don't die while the Relic and the Portal team get into position. The Portal team should leave as soon as the final Oracle is killed and make their way to the center platform. The Relic has the ability to shield everyone for the next 30 seconds with their guard function, which should be used so that everyone can damage freely. After about 15 seconds, Templar will target someone with imminent detainment. If you are targeted with this, then you will be detained in 5 seconds. Anyone immediately around you will also be detained. With everyone in such close proximity using this strategy, that means you will detain your entire team if you don't move, which means everybody dies. What we did to counter this is had the to be detained person jump forward towards Atheon and then had them hide in this little left side nook. This protects them from Atheon, mostly. Then we had a Warlock pop Chaos Reach to break the detainment, and then they could just immediately redirect their damage to Atheon. You could use whatever super you want, Chaos Reach is just kind of the best fit for this. Otherwise, you should focus fire as a team and break them out. If you do get imminent detainment, you don't want to jump up there too quickly because you might be killed by Harpies or Atheon splash damage, but doing it too late means you trap everyone, so try to find a nice middle ground. Note that if you are the relic holder and you turn around while holding the shield up facing away from Atheon, you can actually see the debuff being applied to someone in your team, which can help find out who has been targeted. After Time's Vengeance is over, you'll still get a second or two to deal damage. Take advantage of that. Then, players should kill the remaining Harpies and get back to safety. This will also be the time to use special ammo finishers to resupply on special ammo. Then, you repeat this process until Atheon dies. The two biggest issues here will be oracles and damage. When it comes to oracles, clear callouts are the name of the game. The 1 through 6 callout strategy I think is the simplest one, with Portal team only having to turn around to compensate for it. This might take a couple of runs to get used to, but otherwise shouldn't really be too tough. As for damage on Atheon, the Throne Room team should really maximize the full 30 seconds that they get by being ready to damage as soon as Time's Vengeance pops. You don't need to wait for the Portal team to join you, start damage as soon as possible. The Portal team should be right next to the portal as the final Oracle dies. The farther away you are from the portal, the longer a distance you have to run, the longer it takes to start damage. Do not waste precious seconds by being out of position. After Atheon is defeated, the Relic cache will be available, and you can spend your spoils of conquest. Congratulations, you have just beaten the Vault of Glass. And for some of you, again. I'll have a video on my thoughts on the raid race and all of the changes to Vault sometime within the next few days. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Imagine not having your first instinct be to go to youtube.com/Datto Destiny. There's 6 destinies. Make sure you type all of them.
It's a long
Why
URL.
would you do that?